Hello, everybody, and welcome to Three Swords Productions. If you are new to the channel, I am Steven, and today I wanted to give a quick update for Sanji going into set 3. So before we get started here, let's take a peek at Sanji in set 2. So here we have my deck list for the end of the set 2 meta. I was playing one copy of 8-drop Kid, and two copies of 7-drop Kid. And I thought this top end here was actually pretty good. It was really defensive, and if you could really stick your 8-drop, then you pretty much could win the game. But you kind of had to take a turn off for it. So, it was a strong contender, but it's a very solid card. But you didn't want to see multiples of it. Certainly, the lack of counterpower from the two of these cards were it could put you in situations that were not ideal. So important to consider your quantities there when you were taking a look at that, including the top ends here. Now, for top ends that I really did prefer in this deck, Drakehill Mihawk was one of the best. Throughout testing, we kept taking down top end cards because Drakehill Mihawk was finishing games out for us. It was almost as if that card was just good enough on its own. Now for 4-drops, now this really felt like the bread and butter against Whitebeard players, and against in grindier matchups too. You could really stick a 4-drop, a 6K powered character, and you could take over the game for quite a while that way, as long as you could defend it. But usually it was worth defending. So for 3-drops, this is how you were going to be able to attack up with aggression against Whitebeard. So obviously you need to still equip Dawn to it in order to attack, but it let you play out cards fast enough to be able to keep up with their game plan. And then the 2-drops in the deck were actually how you kept up against Zoro. So depending on what deck you are up against, like what leader you played against that day, that's kind of the starting hand that you would need to sculpt. And then obviously we have some classic bangers here. Boa Hancock coming in clutch towards the end of my playtesting with Sanji. I really did start to favor this card quite a bit. But because of this card, we were able to make concessions. You no longer wanted to play cards that, or you no longer needed to play copies of cards that drew you cards, because Boa Hancock was often going to do that. Looking at you, Deathwink, unfortunately, it finally did make the cut fully. But we ended up on 3 copies of Love Beam, 3 Paradise Waterfall, and again, this card pairing really well with Boa Hancock. For some nice combos that let you draw multiple cards, as well as staying defensive. And of course, Paradise Waterfall also pairing really nicely with 7-drop Kid. So because of how many how good the synergy was in the deck, we always wanted to keep more copies of that in the deck list. Yeah, it's also really nice just to be able to protect your Mihawk. Just make sure that it doesn't get attacked for the rest of the turn. It's already kind of a lot for them to attack Mihawk, but you really need to preserve your resources and make sure that they are what you need. So. Punk Gibson, of course, a staple in any green deck that I'm going to play. I really love this card. And then we were playing 3-sword style Onigiri. This is the surprise win against a lot of opponents. Alright, sorry about that jump there, but we are going to switch on over to the set 3 Sanji build, and it's going to look pretty different here. Of course, we got some really powerful set 3 cards I wanted to go over that I think make incredible additions to the deck. Now, a lot of the cards that we were kind of hesitant on, we decided we're going to keep those. So we're still playing 8-drop Kid, very powerful card, and we're still going to play 7-drop Kid, also incredibly powerful. We don't want to lose out on our synergies with Paradise Waterfall here. Now, one massive upgrade to the deck. Previously, we were playing 4 copies of Jinbei. Now, 4 copies of Jinbei was tried and true. It was pretty good. It definitely did what the deck wanted to do. You put a 2-drop in, you untap, you're having a very strong second turn. Now, we don't want to lose that steam, so we are going to play 4 copies of the East Blue 2-drop Genzo. Really massive upgrade to the deck, because your opponent's probably not going to know what this card is, where they do know what Jinbei does. Now, they're both going to do exactly the same thing, of course, but they don't know that. So you're going to really catch some opponents off guard here. Now, in place of the other Jinbei, we're going to be replacing that with Momo. Okay, now Momo is going to be really hard to pronounce for your opponents, so that's going to mislead them a lot into thinking, hey, maybe there's something deeper going on here. But no, we're still tried and true Sanji. We know how to play around most opponents here, okay? Now, one powerful reason for playing Sanji in set 3, Whitebeard was a very difficult match, as well as if you consider like Zoro to have gone really fast, and that's kind of hard to keep up with. In set three, Zoro's going to go a little bit slower as they're playing a lot more consistent searchers. And their leader is, it's still as powerful as it was before, but they're going to take their time killing you, and you could actually build up enough pressure in order to take them down in set three. And of course, Whitebeard, I actually think is going to be a little bit edged out of the meta, as Ace is a favorite, as the Whitebeard favorite, instead of playing Edward Newgate, since the Moby Dick got banned. So those are both great reasons to check out Sanji in set three. Of course, the deck list is not going to be changing very much. As you can see, just a little teaser for all of those nice vanilla reprints. But it is a nice way to get full art vanillas if you're a Sanji player. I just thought it was incredibly silly that they continued to print the same card over and over. So I wanted to make a joke video here about the Sanji. But all right, guys, that's it. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will see you with more Sanji content in the future. Thanks for watching.